Hey guys, welcome back to On the Shelf. So yeah, it's been a long time. I'm debating on whether or not I should make an entire video about sort of like the state of YouTube at the minute, the reasons why perhaps I'm not creating as much as I would like to be, but I'm not really sure if that's something I want to kind of put out into the world. I think people have enough problems, they don't need to hear mine as well. I wouldn't say I kind of officially left YouTube, but it's something that I just sort of put on the back burner. As you might be able to tell, I have a new office set up. We've got a new sort of manga cave, if you like. Lots of cool things in here, so I thought, it's been a while since I did a collection video, and I guess now that I've updated my collection, I've sold a lot of stuff, I've bought a lot more stuff than I kind of would have liked, and I've completely changed the layout. I think the last collection update video I did was in my old house, so forgive me if I'm a little bit rusty, but it is nice to be back on YouTube. It's nice to have a bit of an outlet for my thoughts and opinions on series, so we're gonna have fun with it and let me know what you guys have been reading, and let's just get straight into it. So this is my basic setup at the moment. I have 3 Billy bookcases and 1 corner unit bookcase, and I've fixed them all together to make a nice little corner unit. From the other side, this is my little desk that I've got set up, which I do most of my work on. It's pretty basic. I've just got a Mac laptop and this cool blue microphone. I'm not sure what the brand is, but I got it from my friend Zach from OnTheShelf. He just gave it to me, which is really nice of him, so I really love that. And then up here we have my little pegboard, which I'm really proud of. It's got a few things on there organised, like what I'm currently reading. I've got my Bose headphones, and then in this corner we have 3 of these cool little things that store my memory cards and my wires and my lens for my camera. And then down here I have my tablet and some hard drives and stuff, and I can keep things in there wherever I want to. And yeah, I really like this. I think it just looks really clean, really nice. And then I've got a lamp in the corner here. It's pretty huge, that you can just switch on and off at the bottom, which is quite handy for when I'm doing work at darker times of the night. And then to kick off my collection, I have a lot of different box sets. So I've got Death Note and Gone there, as well as the Bakuman complete box set as well. And these are all just stacked on top of my bookcases. So we have the Nausicaa one, the Battle Angel Alita one, some Hellsing, Tokyo Ghoul, Akira, I love that box set, and some Devilman. And then there is my Akira Toriyama section. Okay, so to start off with, on the first shelf we have all the single volumes of Berserk. Really sad to hear about Kentaro Miura's passing, but one of my favourite series still. Some of the covers are just really nice, and I often prefer to get single volumes wherever I can, as opposed to deluxe versions and things, but you just can't beat this artwork. It's some of my favourite covers ever, and you just don't get those even in the oversized formats, so I'll always kind of favour the single volumes wherever I can get those. But yeah, I think these look really nice on the shelf. I'm not a particular fan of the brown, but still pretty cool. And then next to those we have, in some of these little wrappings, we've got Giganto Maxia, which is one of Kentaro Miura's shorter kind of one-shot things. And then next to that I found this copy of Japan on Facebook Marketplace. So that's by Buron-son, who does Fist of the North Star. I think he wrote the story for that. And then I have a single volume of MPD Psycho, which has never been finished in publication from Dark Horse. I'm really sad about it, but one of the first ever manga volumes I ever bought. Then next to those I have the Blue Giants editions from Seven Seas. They're 2-in-1s. They're a little bit shorter than I'd like, but one of my new favourite series at the moment, so really recommend that you guys check that out wherever you can. But fantastic series, just about jazz and finding yourself, and I really love these coming of age stories, and whenever they include music or anything like that, I'm just all for it, so I would really recommend that. And then next to this I have all that's currently published of D. Grey Man, one of my favourite shonen series ever, probably in my top 3. Sadly, you know, it's pretty slow to publication at the minute, so bear in mind if you want to check this out that we might not get a completed story anytime soon due to like health conditions of the author. But some of my favourite characters ever, again, some of my favourite covers ever, and it's just a really great gothic emo series, which I'm all about. And then further down here, I have my Tatsuki Fujimoto sort of section. So we've got the Chainsaw Man volumes. They're all wrapped because I like pre-ordered them and they came wrapped. So I've just left them that way because I think they look nice, and I suppose there was a time where these were considered rare, so I just thought I would keep them in the wrapping, even though they're not particularly rare at the minute. But one of my favourite new series. And then Fire Punch next to that. Annoyingly, they don't fit, as you can see, in this shelf stood up. I kind of like it. I like the way it looks. And then next to those, we have Sigwatera. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Fantastic series. One of my new favourites for sure. It's kind of like a coming-of-age slice of life about a kid who wants to buy a motorbike, but then there's really dark undertones and some really serious topics in this. You know, it covers like sexual assault and rape and all kinds of things. So trigger warning, you know, if you're thinking of picking this up, it's not necessarily for the faint of heart, but really good nonetheless. Then down here we have my Naoki Urasawa section, if you like, starting with Monster. I really love this shelf. I really like these Viz signature editions, and I think, you know, some of the best sort of versions of this that you can get, as opposed to the singles actually in this case. But I'm still reading 20th Century Boys at the minute. I'm up to volume 4, as you can see, but really enjoying it. Perhaps might be my favourite Urasawa work so far, but I'm taking my time with this. I really want to, you know, take it all in and enjoy it. Next to those, we've got Mujirushi and Sneeze as well. Further down, we have Asadora 1-4. Still not read that one yet. I'm saving it up. And then Pluto, which is probably one of my favourites at the moment. And next to those, I have a little Hiroaki Samura section. So I've got the Blade of the Immortal Omnibus editions. Love these. Will always favour them over the new deluxe versions, purely because of the spines. I think they're great. And then perhaps one of the most underrated series going is Daiwa Gilda. I wholly recommend this. I think I did a review of it a while ago. And then I have some of the Hiroaki Samura shorts. So we got Ohakoshi, as you can see there, and Emerald. So Emerald's a little bit more like of a western-y one, and then Ohakoshi is like a bit more, it's very different. It's like a slice of life one. But I was really lucky to find those again on Facebook Marketplace. So again, really proud of that shelf. I think that some of my favorites are on there. Okay, then we move to the sort of shelf of debauchery, if you like. I've got Raw Hero 1-6, currently have 1-9 of Prison School. Really love that series, even though it's a bit of a, you know, a bit depraved, but still one of my favorites. Then I have Time Killers, which is the short story from the creator of Blue Exorcist, and then Platinum End 1-14, which is now completed. I might make a review on this again. I did a video on Platinum End. I think the ending left a lot to be desired, to be sure, like I will admit that, but wow, just look at these covers, and the artwork is stunning, and you can always say that these two always make really original manga. Then down below we have a little sort of section for Vinland Saga and Planetes, which is by the same creator. I currently only have 1-10 and then 12. I'm missing 11. And then I've got a Osamu Tezuka section in the corner. So over here we have The Message to Adolf 1 and 2. Really quite a dark series, but really enjoyed it. And then Storm Fairy, Clockwork Apple, and MW, which I've yet to read, but I'm sort of saving these up. I really love him as a creator and will definitely want to collect more of his stuff in the near future. But as you can see, I'm rereading Vinland Saga at the minute. And then up here again, as I showed you before, we have the Nausicaa Battle Angel Alita, Hellsing, and Tokyo Ghoul box sets. And then just below those, we have Dorohedoro 1-23. Fantastic series, one of the best kind of magical sort of twisted dark series going. And then Die Dark from the same creator. Absolutely love the quality of these releases. I think that they're doing a fantastic job over at Seven Seas and look forward to picking up the rest of those. And then I have Ajin Demi-Human 1-17, which is completed. Fantastic series, full of action, and they just look great on the shelf. Then down below I have Opossums, which is like my new favourite sort of sci-fi from Nihei. It's one of my first Nihei series I've ever read. Then next to that we have Hiroya Oku's Gigant, which is just pure craziness, and yeah, we won't talk about that. Then I have The Girl from the Other Side 1-11, just completed. I'm going to sing the praises of this series until the day I die. Absolutely love it. And then we've got The Wise Beasts of the Wizarding Wisdoms, which is by the same creator, but I didn't realize it was kind of like a furry boys love series, which definitely isn't my thing, but I might keep it in there just for continuity. And then I have Invitation from a Crab by Pampania, truly original, really love that one. And then I have 1-14 of the Kurosagi Corpse Delivery Service. Got this super cheap years ago on eBay. Sadly, it's not finished. And then there's Velveteen and Mandala, which I've only just started reading, but it's proper weird. Like, I wouldn't recommend that for everyone, for sure. I'm not too sure what I can really say about that series, to be honest. Then is my crown jewel of my collection. We have Gantz 1-37 and Gantz G 1-3. Here in the corner I've got a cute, cool little sort of Psycho-Pass USB stick, which I can't remember where I found, but absolutely love this series. We're currently doing a podcast about it. If you're interested, to go and check that out. Annoyingly, Dark Horse screwed me over with this one volume that just has that Dark Horse thing in the bottom, but aside from that, super lucky to have the singles for Gantz, and yeah, really love it. And then similarly, I have I Am a Hero in the Omnibus format, so it's 1-11 completed. If you want to check out my review on the series, then please do. And then I've got Battle Royale 1-15. All of the spines match. I still can't believe I got them in such great quality for really cheap. I think I paid about £40 for those. So, okay, then down here we have what everyone seems to have in their collection, which is All You Need Is Kill. Great little one-shot. And then we've got Tenjo Tenge 1-11. Oh Great has some of the best artwork in my opinion. Maybe perhaps not the best storytelling in this one, but it's just a great kind of, I can't get that back in there, annoyingly. But it's just yeah, some really great action, albeit not the best storyline perhaps. But I'm still a big fan of this series, and it's a little comfort one of mine. And then next to that we have Bokurano Hours. Super lucky to have this. I've got volumes of 1-11, especially that volume 3, which is particularly difficult to get hold of. In the corner we have this Spirit of Wonder, which is something that I picked up randomly because it's by the same creator as Eminon 1-3, which we've got there, as well as Alice in Borderland volume 1, which I'm really excited to continue collecting actually. But yeah, really love that shelf. Just below that we seem to have my horror shelf, which it's morphed into, oddly enough. I've got all the like Junji Ito releases at the minute, and then we've got Doubt 1 and 2, Another, and then I've got a little Satoshi Kon section, and this one by Jiro Taniguchi in the corner, A Journal of My Father, which I've not read yet, but still I'm interested in it nonetheless. But I really love horror stories, I love horror films, so I'm pretty pleased with the way that this shelf's turned out, even if that last book doesn't really fit the vibe. Just below that, we have my Takehiko Inoue shelf. So I've got Vagabond 1-12 in the Vizbigs, Real 1-15 in the signature editions. I just love these spines for Vagabond. I think they look super dope. I stopped at volume 9 because I don't want it to come to an end, annoyingly, because it's on hiatus. And I've yet to start Real, but I know that I'm going to love it. I just wish that I could find Slam Dunk for a reasonable price, because I think that would really kind of make the collection more complete. And then in the corner here, I've got these Buzzer Beater volumes. They're like Japanese. It was like a webcomic, and someone sent them me for free when I bought Real, so I'm really lucky to have those. But I've made a start on kind of translating them myself with little post-it notes, so that's a fun little project that I've set myself to do. But yeah, that's another shelf really proud of. and I think it looks really cool. Okay, onto the corner bookcase, which took me a long time to set up, but it's got some of my favourite series on it, so let's take a look. So yeah, at the top we have the Akira 35th anniversary box set, a couple of volumes of Devilman, and down below that, the start of my Ashimi shelf. So we've got the Flowers of Evil in the single volumes, which was another great eBay find, and then Blood on the Tracks 1-8, which I'm currently collecting. Perhaps Ashimi's best series, maybe? It's definitely his most talked about, and it's getting a lot of people to read his works, but I'm really excited that we're getting a lot of his stuff getting UK releases soon. Then just below that we have Happiness 1-10 and Inside Mari 1-8, as well as Shino Can't Say Her Name, which I wasn't really a fan of, but for completeness, like, I'm gonna collect everything that Ashimi puts out just because he's my favorite mangaka, like, ever. Okay, so just below that I have a little centerpiece thing going on in the middle of this bookcase. In the corner we've got some more of those manga bags that I use to wrap some of my manga, so we'll get rid of those for now. But we've got Miss Kusakabe and Waltz. These were released from Dempa directly, and I paid quite a bit to have them imported because I'm like a diehard Ashimi fan. And then in the middle we've got my Full Metal Alchemist Gate, so it splits apart. I keep my bookmarks in there, and it's got some really kind of creepy resin designs of the people from the gate in Full Metal Alchemist. My partner hates this and she wants to throw it out the window every time she looks at it, but just look at it, it's so cool, so messed up and weird, and I just like having it as a centerpiece of that bookcase. I think it looks really cool. And I've got Femme Fatale, which is the Ashimi art book, and then I've got Control Plus T, which is the Inio Asano art book. So really love those. Again, I'm super lucky to have this kind of whole Ashimi section of my bookcase. Just a bit further down from that, we have my Inio Asano collection. So I've got a Japanese version of volume 1 of Goodnight Punpun, which my friend Hannah got me from Japan. All of Goodnight Punpun 1-7 on top of Nichigahara Holograph, which was like the first Ashimi book that I ever read, I think. Super weird and messed up. And then we've got What a Wonderful World, the Solonin Epilogue, and A Girl on the Shore, which is questionable to say the least. Then just below that we have Dead Dead Demons, Dead Destruction 1-10, Downfall, and then I've got some Taiyo Matsumoto stuff. So I've got Sunny 1-6 and Cats of the Louvre as well. So this is like the start of my Taiyo Matsumoto collection. Cats of the Louvre is probably still one of my favorites because it's one of the first that I read. And then just below that we have Dementia 21, which is a great series for fans of Junji Ito. I definitely recommend you check that out. And we've got Tekken Kincrete, Ping Pong 1-2, Number 5 1-4, and then Go-Go Monster, which I still can't believe I found Go-Go Monster on eBay. I've got some weird little Final Fantasy figures that I've had forever, and they're kind of broken a little bit on the stands, but I keep them for like nostalgic reasons, I guess. I just love to have those there. Next to Go-Go Monster, we've got a little Taiyo Matsumoto magazine thing that I bought. Me and Zach both bought because it has like interviews and stuff that we can't read that are in Japanese about Taiyo Matsumoto, and some cool artwork that Inio Asano did of some Matsumoto series. And then we've got Children of Mootown, Rabbits Game, Pez, and Super Dimensional Love Gun, which is by the creator of Dementia 21, but I definitely don't recommend that one if you are a bit squeamish. Then up here we have my Akira Toriyama section. So I've got Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z box sets, as well as Manga Theater. I love Akira Toriyama. I think he's one of the best OG manga creators. And then just below we've got One Punch Man, volumes 1-21. I don't have them all yet, but it's one of my favorites, so I'm kind of like saving them. I'm up to volume 19 and I'm just waiting for a few more to come out, so I have a little bit more of it to read before I binge. Same with Promised Neverland. So I've currently got volumes 1 to 14, but I want to collect the rest and reread the whole series at once because I know that it's finished and I've read enough of it to know that I will enjoy it. So just below that, I have my kind of shoujo section. There's not a lot. I've got Cardcaptor Sakura in the omnibuses from Dark Horse, as well as 1 to 6 of the Clear Card series. Cardcaptor Sakura is like in my top 3 manga of all time, so I would definitely recommend it. And then I have Angelic Layer 1 and 2, The Wish Omnibus, The Golden Sheep 1 to 3, The God's Lie by Kaori Ozaki, which is super underrated as well. I think that they're a really great creator and I look forward to more from them. After the Rain 1, 2 and 3, I'm missing the final 2 volumes of that, but that's a great seinen kind of romance, so sometimes it's nice to just take a break from all the action and the killing and everything. And then just next to those I have the Silent Voice box set, so one of my favourite series for sure, and perhaps one of the best ways to pick that up. Just next to those we have some more Akira Toriyama, so I got Kowa, which I paid more than I would have liked to for, Sandland, and then Jacko the Galactic Patrolman. But as a completionist, I just had to have those as well. But yeah, I'm really proud of that shelf. I think it just looks less like everything else in my collection, and for that reason, I really treasure it, and I love all of the series on it. And then just below that, I have my favourite series of all time. I have Bleach in its entirety, as well as Zombie Powder, which is the first sort of series by the same creator, 1 to 4. And then, yeah, there's the rest. So we've got volume 40 all the way up to 74, I think it ended at. I'm a diehard Bleach fan, and I always will be. It's the best of the big 3. Don't hate me. I just love it for nostalgia, you know. I had to have the Zombie Powder to kind of make the collection more complete. I've yet to read it yet, but I'm sure that Tite Kubo did a really great job with that as well. But Bleach has always been my favourite. It has the best characters, the best action. I would literally run out and buy them as soon as the volumes were released, and I'd read them within about 10 minutes. And next to those, we've got the Bleach character books. I also have the collector's hardback edition of volume 1 of Bleach, which is one of my favourite, most prized possessions, as well as Burn the Witch, which I took out of its like sleeve just to sort of have them both next to one another because I think they look kind of cool. Just below, I'm rereading this currently, one of my favourite nostalgic series. We've got Soul Eater. All of them are in the singles. They're being re-released in hardbacks, but again, will always prefer the singles. I've also got Soul Eater Not 1 to 5, which is like a spin-off, but really not as good, and you don't need to read it if you're a Soul Eater fan. It's just kind of nice to have. I've also got the Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer omnibuses, so I've got 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. These are notoriously hard to find, and if anyone can find me the rest, then please do let me know, but I don't want to pay an absolute fortune for... I know 9 and 10 I think is pretty cheap, but the first two 2-in-1s are pretty hard to come by, so I'm kind of hoping that the buzz from the anime gets me some copies of those for decent price. And then I've got Fooly Cooly, the omnibus. Then next to that I have the first omnibus of Shaman King, and then just below that I have a couple of Nihei stuff. So I've got Blame or Blam, the Master Edition Volume 1, as well as Abara, which I recently got for really cheap. And just next to that I've got the Summit of the Gods 1 and 4, which I keep being recommended a lot. So I got Volume 1 and then I found Volume 4 for like randomly for very, very cheap, so couldn't pass that up. And I've got Inuyashiki 1 to 4. I love that, obviously. I've read it all digitally, but just sort of getting around to collect it is a bit difficult. And I've got Colosseum Volume 1 and Hero Tales 1 to 5, Fire Force 1 and 2, and an additional copy of Cardcaptor Sakura Clear Card, which is damaged. So all of those are for sale at the minute because I don't really plan on continuing to collect them, but I've got a little bit of space on that shelf, and there'll be even more when they're sold, so that's kind of nice to have. And then just below, I've got kind of like a sci-fi thing going on this shelf. So I've got the Neon Genesis Evangelion manga, the Levius hardback, and then all of the Mobile Suit Gundam hardbacks. So they're some of the best quality releases that I own. I also have this little Gundam badge that I got when I think it came free with some Blu-ray that I got a while back from All the Anime. And then I have all my art books in the corner here, so just to quickly go over those, I've got one from like Kisniver, which is an anime by Trigger. I've got the Isle of Dogs manga, a Samurai Champloo character art book thing, which I think is pretty rare, but I found it in a charity shop, so that's by Dark Horse. And then I've got the D. Greyman art book, the Naruto art book, a Bleach art book, of course, both the Soul Eater Soul Art hardbacks, which are absolutely amazing, and I would recommend those if you can pick them up. And then next to those we have the Full Metal Alchemist Ultimate Edition art book, which came with the Blu-ray, the Neon Genesis Evangelion illustrations, and then I've got Blank A Noir, which is the creator of Death Note's art book, which is the best quality art book I have ever owned in my life. I might even do an individual video just to show that off if people are interested. But yeah, that's my collection, guys. So back to me, I suppose. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed my collection tour. Please let me know what you guys thought of it. Is there anything that you saw that you perhaps want to try and pick up yourself, or anything that you think I might be missing from my collection that I could really do with picking up? I'd really be keen to know. I can't say that I would take this video as a promise that there's going to be more in the future. I definitely think that I might sort of come back to YouTube and start creating a little bit more, but that's just kind of tied to how much free time I have, I guess. You know, life gets in the way, jobs are, you know, important to live, and sometimes they don't allow for any kind of free time to do things like this, because creating videos takes a hell of a lot of time. But on the other hand, you know, I'm still creating a podcast with Zach. We still have our Between the Shelves podcast, which I just want to plug at the moment. I think if you guys are really into Gantz, which I think a few of you might be from my sort of demographic, we're doing an entire read-through of the Gantz series for our Between the Shelves podcast. So I will leave a link in my description to where you guys can find that, and hopefully you go and listen it and enjoy it. And also Zach has his own podcast going as well. He's converted Uchu Shelf completely into a podcast. It's something that I considered myself, but I just don't think that it's for me. I still think that I like to create videos. That's more of what I enjoy doing. It's just that I don't find the time to do it that often. So again, you know, thanks for watching, and I will catch you hopefully sooner rather than later in the next one.